Male fighters in the UFC have been seeing huge amounts of hype, especially lately with the bout between Jon Jones and Ciryl Gane drawing closer. But let's not overlook all the brave female fighters who put their bodies on the line. Valentina Shevchenko is a prime example. As a former Muay Thai fighter turned professional mixed martial artist, she's one formidable woman in the octagon. She's been dominating the flyweight division for the UFC, where the Slavic fighter is the current women's champ. If you've ever seen her fight, you were probably able to tell that she's been involved with combat sports from a young age. Following her sister's and mother's footsteps, Valentina started learning Taekwondo at just 5 years old. Her sister, Valentina Shevchenko, also competes in the flyweight division of the UFC. I guess fighting just runs in the family. And the fact becomes obvious even to the untrained eye after watching Valentina brawl it out in the octagon. After 7 years of practicing Taekwondo, Shevchenko started branching out to other combat sports. She picked up Muay Thai kickboxing at age 12. The Slavic MMA artist actually knocked out an opponent 10 years older than her at the time. After this fight, Shevchenko's trainer, Pavel Fedorov, ended up giving her the nickname Bullet because of how fast and agile she is in the ring.
Valentina Bullet Shevchenko!
Valentina, with Fedorov and her sister Antonina, traveled to Peru, where they started teaching martial arts. She also dabbled a little in freestyle Vale Tudo, which literally translates to everything goes. And that's probably where Valentina gets her courage and aggression from. She got used to full-contact combat sports at a very young age, and now appears fearless in her fights. As currently, she's a second Dan black belt and master of sports in Taekwondo, as well as international master of sports in Muay Thai. Shevchenko's Muay Thai and kickboxing record was out of this world. In the 12 years she carried on with these combat sports, the Slavic women's star managed to win over 90 amateur and professional matches, 8 of which she won via technical knockout and 2 by knockout. She only has 2 losses in her Muay Thai kickboxing career, one against Debbie Arkins in 2008, and the second loss was at the hands of Kong Wang in 2015. She also won 8 gold medals from 2003 through 2014. Valentina also began mixed martial arts in the early 2000s when she was just 15 years old. She made her professional MMA debut in 2003 against another fighter making their MMA debut, whom she beat in the second round via TKO. Now that's a dream start to an MMA career. Shevchenko went on to win her next 6 fights consecutively. She emerged victorious in all 6 of these fights by finishing her opponent in the first round, after which she took a break from MMA so she could put more focus on her kickboxing and Muay Thai career. Valentina returned to MMA in September 2010 and made her UFC debut against Liz Carmouche, a fighter who later on became a UFC title contender. Unfortunately for the Slavic MMA fighter, she ended up losing the fight, which was due to a controversial doctor stoppage because of an illegal upkick that caused a large cut. The referee ended up not calling a foul. Had he done that, Liz would have been disqualified and Shevchenko would have won her debut UFC fight, but the doctor decided to waive off the fight instead, giving Carmouche the win via technical knockout. Valentina's stats in the UFC are crazy good though. Standing at 5'5" she has a reach of 66 inches. Combined with her southpaw stance, it makes her a formidable threat to anyone that enters the octagon with her. Her fierce fighting style helps her land 3 significant strikes per minute on average.
Like someone is slapping the bag with a baseball bat.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, head kick, it's in. Oh my God.
According to UFC statistics, a little over half of these successfully connect to her opponents. Valentina also absorbs less than 2 significant strikes per minute on average. This means that she's been dishing out more damage in her fights than she's been taking, which is why her UFC record is so amazing. It's hard to lose a fight if you do more damage than you take. Attacking aside though, this also tells us a lot about her great defense. Shevchenko, on average, successfully defends against 63% of the significant strikes aimed at her.
Well, you heard Joe Murphy say to Lauren, oh, she had a right hand there. Kick. Murphy on the ropes.
That's
Oh, big left hand. Could be the beginning of the
But we all know that striking isn't the only way to win or lose a fight. Bullet is also highly skilled when it comes to takedowns. With a takedown accuracy of 64%, she successfully lands over 2 takedowns on average for every 15 minutes.
Yeah, it looks like she opened her up with one of those elbows.
Big Dan is
Stoppage
looking
could come
very
here.
closely, as it should be. That's it.
And still, the UFC flyweight champion. Is there anyone?
While at the same time, she defends against 70% of takedown attempts against her. The women's current UFC flyweight champ is so good that her skills are well recognized even by game developers. EA's UFC 4 MMA fighting game ranked Shevchenko as the 5th best striker in the UFC. That list includes the male fighters in the promotion too. For her striking abilities, the game puts her above the likes of Conor McGregor, Stephen Thompson, Jose Aldo, and others. Keeping in mind her exceptional kickboxing skills and overall striking abilities, EA's UFC 4 gave the Slavic fighter a perfect 5-star rating. Shevchenko's trainer, Pavel Fedorov, was right when he talked about her speed 23 years ago. Valentina scored a whopping 96 in her punching speed, head movement, footwork, kicking speed, and accuracy. Combined with her score of 93 in punching power, her blows are lethal. I know who I'm going to pick when I'm playing some UFC 4. Though, as good as she is, UFC president did have his doubts in 2022 when she was up against Talia Santos in the UFC 275 co-main event. Since Valentina's been so dominating in the promotion, arguably the most dominant champion in the UFC, betting sites installed her as a heavy favorite, while only a few people gave Santos a chance. Shevchenko was a 6-1 favorite for the fight. In an online fan Q&A, Dana White said everyone loves Valentina, but also said that this fight wasn't 6-1 as most people thought. Despite her being ranked number 1 in both the MMA fighting pound-for-pound rankings and also the MMA fighting global rankings, Dana talked about how many people don't realize that Santos is an exceptional fighter in her own right and can hold her own in the octagon. Considering her 13 finishes at the time, 10 of which were knockouts, the UFC president was right. Santos is a highly skilled fighter and she did give Bullet a tough time, but eventually even she fell short in front of Valentina, who won the bout via a split decision after 5 rounds. She now looks ahead to her 8th consecutive flyweight title defense. With the bout confirmed in January 2023, she's set to face Alexa Grasso at the UFC 285 co-main event. This is the first time the 29-year-old Mexican fighter is competing for some UFC gold. Ever since she joined the UFC back in 2016, Grasso's been recognized as one of the top prospects in the promotion. She struggled when she competed in the strawweight division, but even since her move to flyweight, Grasso has accumulated 4 consecutive wins for herself, which also includes the first UFC 5-round main event she took part in. So, will the Mexican fighter pull off a big upset at UFC 285, or will Valentina win her 8th consecutive title defense? I can't wait to find out. With the fight also being headlined by Cyril Gane and John Jones, UFC 285 is going to be amazing.